It's the Allegedly Podcast. This is Ep7, part 2. I'm with the crew, and this is our stud, dud, my new bud section. This is where you can come and get some fantasy advice from us on who we think is going to ball out, who's going to be at the end of the bench, and this guy, and who we believe is going to be the next person to step up in your lineup. So you might want to get him in. All right. So this is stud, dud, my new bud. And this is the week 4 edition. So H5, who do you got as your stud in week 4?
My stud this week, I got Antonio Gibson, and this is my reasoning. They're playing against the Atlanta Falcons. Everybody that plays against the Atlanta Falcons has a good game. He's going to run the ball and he's going to catch the ball. So if you have Antonio Gibson, please put him in your lineup and feel comfortable about it. He has a ton of fantasy points in this game. He's going to eat.
Nice. We like to see it. We like those matchups against the teams that always get a points up. Los, why you think Kittle is going to be a stud this week?
Oh, well, I like Kittle because he's a great tight end, first of all. So he does the dirty work. So they got to reward him. And I think he's going to have a big week this week. It's like he playing against Seattle. He playing against Seattle. Russ go put points on the board. And I think they're starting to realize that they got to get the ball to their best player. Like, they got to get it to him. Debo go do him, but you got to get the ball to your best player, and I think Kittle going to have a huge week this week.
Yeah, he definitely had a good week last week after the first 2 weeks not really putting up Kittle numbers, but last week it looked like an effort to get him to rock. So I can see where you're going with that.
I agree.
For my stud this week, I'm going to go with the young bull, Jamar Chase, man. There was questions about whether he could catch the ball or not coming into the season, and a lot of people may have passed up on him, and now they're looking back and saying, man, I made a mistake right now. If you look at what he's done so far, 7 targets week 1, 4 targets week 2, 5 targets in week 3. But in each week he's caught a touchdown pass, and in week 3 he actually caught 2 of them. And you could just see the chemistry between him and Joe Burrow. One of the touchdown passes, man, I don't even think he was open when the ball was thrown to him. But Burrow knew where he was going to be. He got to where he was going to be and ended up in a touchdown. This week they got Jacksonville. And I think it's just another team that he could just continue to take advantage of. I think Higgins is still going to be out. So I think it's going to be another big week for Jamar Chase. Burrow looking for him. So I think they're going to connect at least one time. He'll see the end zone, probably even go over 100 yards this week. So got a big game for Jamar Chase this week. Moving on to our duds. Who you telling to keep out of the lineup, H5?
I got Kenny Galladay this week. They're going up against the New Orleans Saints. The Saints secondary, which it's rough to say this, but the Saints secondary is playing very well. So I think they'll try to run the ball a little bit, use Saquon, stay ahead of the chains, and they'll be in throwing situations. They'll look for Sterling Shepard on something short. I don't think Galladay chances are going to be there this week. So if I was you and I had Galladay, I'll move him to my bench this week.
You're moving him to the bench. You're not even tempering expectations. You saying get him out the lineup.
Right. Stifle defense down there in New Orleans.
Los, who should owners be afraid of this week? Who should they be afraid to put in the lineup this week?
I would tell owners to definitely temper their expectations on Damon Harris and possibly thinking about sitting him if you have somebody better. I think he's going to get some work, but I think it's not going to be a lot of work because they play in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And we know that front seven is, that's a load. It's a load to deal with.
Great wall of
athletes, big, strong, fast, flying at you from all areas. And he don't catch the ball.
Mean.
Yeah. Yeah, and he don't catch the ball out the backfield. So, in a PPR league like we in, you're going to get stuffed in the run, not going to catch no passes. Going to seem like a James White game. So I'll watch Damon Harris.
Beware of Damon Harris. I appreciate that advice. I got him in 2 leagues, so he might be riding the pine again this week. I'm telling fantasy owners, managers to be, I'm not gonna say stay away, but just be slightly afraid of what Brandon Cooks is not gonna do this week. He's been productive so far this season, especially without having a quarterback. Played with Tyrod Taylor for the first week and a half, and then Davis Mills has come in. But this week, I'm thinking Brandon Cooks is going to be a dud, man. They're playing the number 2 ranked defense against wide receivers. Um, Now they may be losing, so that might redeem it, but I would say temper your expectations, man. He kind of got by last week. He caught a couple balls, but this week I think it's a tough matchup. Um, I think the Bills can actually get to the quarterback too, so it's going to be a rough one for Cooks this week. So if you're owner of Cooks, you probably still have him in your lineup, but I think he's going to end up somewhere down like a wide receiver 3 area versus being a wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2 this week. So I'm saying temper expectations on Brandon Cooks again in that tough matchup against Buffalo. Ink spot. Who is that new person that you are considering to put in your starting lineup this week? So who is your my new bud?
My new bud. He's probably in certain people lineup, but some people maybe kind of hesitant about him. Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt. And what I'm saying is, yes, I know you're thinking about Nick Chubb, but first of all, it's really a split between them because Kareem Hunt is also getting his touches as well, and he's the pass catching back. So if you're in a PPR league, that's even more enticing. And 2 out of the 3 games he's played, he scored double digits. So I mean, it's there. It's there. It's showing that he's getting a playing time, and it's a good chance that he can go off. He's getting red zone looks, etc. So I like Kareem Hunt, man. Is my new bud. If you have him on your bench, put him in, and if you have him in, keep him in.
I appreciate that advice. I definitely appreciate that advice. Who you thinking about adding to your starting lineup this week, Lo? So who you telling folks that they need to consider to put in their starting lineup this week?
Well, the guy I'm talking about probably already in your starting lineup, but I'm telling you that he's going to have the type of week that you drafted him to have. I feel like they're starting to go get him the ball. I mean, they've been giving the ball 10 targets, 11 targets, but he just ain't hit on them.
Mm-hmm.
Get that kind of player with that kind of talent, them kind of looks every week, and he's going to strike. I think this is the week you can count on Calvin Ridley to almost carry your team. Talking about one of those 25 to 30s.
And he's definitely capable. We've seen him do it in the past with Julio Jones being on the other side of the field. The kid's talented, highly skilled. Like you say, he just hadn't hit on him yet. The opportunity's there, but he hadn't hit on him. A lot of fantasy owners probably drafted him back into the first round, very early in the second round, possibly. So you're saying this is the week that you get that production from him. You get the value from him.
You get that return on your investment.
Return on your investment, definitely. And I'm going with this week, my new bud. Some of y'all probably don't have this guy in your lineup, but you might want to consider it. Is Jacoby Myers, especially if you don't have anybody else to put in that flex spot. And here's my reason why. One, Belichick is a smart coach, so I don't think he's going to try to run the ball. I don't think he's going to be able to run the ball. But there's also going to be a want to show that my new quarterback could be the person that used to be in New England. So I'm thinking there's going to be a little bit more incentive of them trying to throw the ball. Plus, they're playing the Bucks, who the back end is, then that at this moment in time, the back end is not what it needs to be for them to win another championship. I'm not saying that they're not going to win another championship, but the back end is disrupted. Last week he had 14 targets. He caught 9 of those balls, so that the opportunities are going to be there. And then I also think they're going to be losing. So they're going to be chasing the whole game, trying to score points. I think the ball's just going to be in the air a little bit more. So if you have nobody else to fit in that flex spot, consider Jacoby Myers. I think he's gonna come in and have a big game for the Patriots. I don't think the Patriots win the game, but I think from a fantasy standpoint, he's gonna put up some numbers that can help your team win a fantasy ball game. Any tips y'all want to give out to the folks before we get out of here?
Don't leave no money on the bench.
Yeah, and I wanna second that your Jamar Chase stud, because Jacksonville just traded their best cornerback this week as well. So good luck trying to cover that kid out there in Jacksonville this weekend.
So there y'all have it, folks. You know who to put in the lineup, you know who to keep out of the lineup, and you know you need to be checking for as they're gonna put up big numbers this week. Like, subscribe, comment, let us know how we're doing. Keep us on track.
Follow
Follow all those good things. This is the Allegedly Podcast, Murder Cherry Fantasy Football production. We'll see y'all next week. Peace.
Peace.